Okay. Good morning, students. So today, what kind of hormones of the plants and their respective functions? Likewise, the animals. Sorry, unlike the animals, plants doesn't have any particular kind of coordinating systems, just like the either circulation or the endocrine system or the nervous system. Okay, these systems are well elaborated in the animals. Even though absence of these endocrine and nervous system, plants also can manage their coordination by making several kinds of hormones itself now. Okay, so these are some major kinds of hormones. Major plant hormones and their functions. So, okay, the hormones which are present in the plant, which are useful for growth and development, is commonly called as phytohormones. What are those? No, phytohormones. Here in the word phyto means plant. Phyto means plant. So the plant hormones, these are commonly called as the phytohormones. Like the, for example, adrenaline, testosterone, estrogen, and luteinizing hormone. Like the animals, plants also have respective hormones. These hormones also take a vital role to maintain several kinds of functions in the plant itself now. Okay, these are the major five plant hormones. Just I will read, auxins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, gibberellins, and ethylene. First one, auxins. So what is the use of, first of all, I will read you. Cell elongation, differentiation of shoot and also the root. Okay. Cytokinins, cell division, sprouting of lateral buds, delay in aging of the leaves, and opening of stomata. Abscisic acid, closing of stomata, seed dormancy. Gibberellins, germination of seeds, sprouting of buds, elongation of the stem, and stimulation of flowering, development of roots, breaking of the seed dormancy, and in the seeds, of course, breaking of the seed dormants in the seeds and also in the buds. And ethylene, ripening of fruits. What is the clear functions of all these hormones? Okay, listen. First of all, auxins. The plant hormone auxins, first of all understood, first of all discovered by F.W. Went. Okay, okay, we will discuss later for the what is the experiment is going on clearly. Auxins are mostly present in the cell elongation, which are useful for the cell elongation. See that clearly. So, for example, this is the plant. A kind of a hormone is present in the tip of the region, tip regions. Clear? So, this particular tip regions contain a separate kind of an hormone is commonly called as the auxins, which is useful for cell elongation. At the same time, following action is commonly called differentiation of the shoots and also the roots. Do you know what's called differentiation? Making it as a development again and again, continuously dividing. This kind of differentiation of the shoots and also in the roots in this particular terminal region. In these regions also having the cells which having the high differentiation levels. So high differentiation levels of the shoot and the differentiation of the roots, which also increasing in the development of the shoot and also the root. This can also increasing the shoot levels and also increasing the root levels also. So the length of the stem is gradually increasing along with the root also. This can be performing by the plant hormone is called as the auxins. Next one, cytokinins. As the word indicating here, the word cyto means cell. Kinin means division. Kinin means division. Means the cell division. Cell division is gradually done by the hormone is called as cytokinins. Here the first one is called as the cell division. Cell division is the first function of the cytokinins. And sprouting of lateral buds. Sprouting of lateral buds. Okay. Okay, see that this is a small plant now here. So for example, if you are observing clearly, this is called as the terminal part of the shoot. So for example, the cells presenting in this particular tip region, you clearly, the tip region, a small sting-like structure, this is commonly called as the tip. At the same time, this branch also have the same tip like this. Okay, and every branches have the tips. These are commonly called as the tips of the shoots. And again, tips of the roots. See that this is the root structure clearly now. This entire root also penetrate into the deeper parts of the soil. Depending upon the hormone is called as the auxins. Okay, so the total penetration. So at the end of the tip region, this particular tip region contains the more amount of the cells which are having the high differentiation levels. This can also useful for the penetration of the root into deeper parts of the soil, which is also useful for absorption of the water materials. Okay, that is commonly called differentiation of the shoot and also the roots. Okay, next one, cell division, sprouting of lateral buds. So for example, this is the lateral branches. The lateral branches gives the buds. These lateral buds can also initiated by the hormones called as cytokinins and delay in aging of the leaves. Mostly during the particular periods in particular seasons, most of the plants also shed their leaves. So this is commonly called aging. This particular aging of the leaves can automatically controlling by this particular cytokinins. Means prevention of aging of leaves. Okay. And again opening of stomata. Do you know opening and closing of stomata, which is also useful for the process of photosynthesis and also the respiration mechanism. So whereas the opening of stomata done by the cytokinins. And again the opposite reaction is commonly called as closing of stomata. So these two hormones can also work in opposite directions. Sometimes some of the plant hormones also work together. Some of the plant hormones in working in opposite directions, in opposite reactions. So the opening of stomata is done by the cytokinins and closing of stomata is done by the abscisic acid. Next one, seed dormancy. Here what is meant by dormancy? Means making in a stagnant position. So the seeds can't able to germinate. So until the favorable conditions are available, the seeds would like to stay in this particular condition. This particular period, completely stagnant period is commonly called as the dormancy. When the suitable conditions are available, this hormone dominance automatically decreases and the seed can automatically germinate clearly. Okay. Next, gibberellins. See that germination of the seeds. See that now gibberellins are useful for seed germination. Break the seed dormancy. So favorable conditions are available means the hormone gibberellins is ready to activate. Means that can break the dormancy and also useful for the germination of the seeds. Okay. Next one, sprouting of buds. When the buds presenting on the plant itself, no, they would like to sprout. The sprouting is not possible means there is no chance of blooming. There is no chance of pollination and fertilization also. Okay. Next one, elongation of the stem. Stem length is gradually increasing. So for example, here, see that this is one more plant, Muripinda. So the length of the stem is gradually increasing. Okay, in each and every knot. For example, these two points are commonly called as the knots. Between the two interknots, between the two knots, there is an internode. The internodal junctions are gradually increasing by the hormone is called as gibberellins. Okay, so that is called elongation of the stems and stimulation of the flowering mechanism and development of the fruits. Fruits can gradually develop. When the applying of gibberellins is done, fruit bunches, especially in the grapes, especially some kinds of a bunching giving fruits, especially. So the bunches can also formed by the applying of gibberellins and breaking the dormancy. So the seed dormancy can break, can the seed automatically can germinate now. And the dormants of the seeds and also the buds means it gives a chances for coming process. Okay. Last one, these four are commonly in a liquid manner, hormones. But the hormone, this is complete in the gaseous form, ethylene. This is useful for the ripening of fruits. When the unripened fruits are present in the plant, the hormone is called as ethylene is produced to ripening the fruits. For example, if you have taken a bunch of fruits in a tub or in a basket, okay, for example, all these are, for example, unripened fruits. Within unripened fruits, one ripened fruits are present, for example, in between among the fruits. within few hours, within 1 day and half day, the remaining unripened fruits can gradually ripen due to cause of the hormone, due to cause of the gaseous hormone is called as ethylene. Ethylene having the ability to rise to ripen the fruits, unripened into ripened fruits. Okay, okay na. Next one. Okay, see here some of the experiments or some of the activity here. Now you can do the small activity here. What I'm saying now, take few seeds of anyone, either bajra or any mung seeds or any kind of one. Take them in a in a little amount of soil itself now, and apply sprinkle amount some amount of water. You can able to observe within 4 to 5 days they can germinate. They can germinate. So keep this top. So for example, within a pot, we are taken few amounts of seeds. This is entirely soil now. A few seeds are taken. Within few days, they can germinate. Take the pot nearest by the sunlight or nearby the window itself now. Okay. So when the seed gives the small seedling itself now, seed gives a small seedling. Observe the seedlings within few days if the complete pot is kept nearby the window itself now. So some of the seeds can also germinate, remaining can automatically degenerates now. So for example, if you are understanding for about for one plant is germinated here. Okay. Keep this plant nearby the window, nearer to the window. So if you can able to observe clearly, so for example, this is the direction of the sunlight. When the sunlight is traveling through the window itself now, the tip region of the plant can shows the gradual movement towards the direction of the sunlight. I understand clearly? Towards the direction of the sunlight, the tip region of the plant can also shows the direction. So then opposite direction, the some of the cells presenting in the tip region can highly stimulated regarding the sunlight towards the direction of the sunlight. In opposite direction, in other than, for example, this is the direction of the sunlight now. In opposite direction of the cells, these cells can also have the ability to bend the stem itself now. The cells presenting in the towards the direction of the sunlight, they can highly stimulated towards the direction of the sunlight. Means the cells are highly activated to the light. In opposite direction of the stem. In other hand, these side can also have the cells which also have the ability to bend the stem itself now. Okay, both kind of the cells are not working as the same kind of a function. Okay, this kind of movement is commonly called as a phototropism. Okay, movement of the plant body parts towards the direction of the sunlight, which is commonly called as a phototropism. Sunflower is an excellent example of the phototropism, phototropic movement. Okay, so to the particular reaction, some scientists also done the several kinds of an activities. Okay, so regarding that, Charles Darwin and his son Francis Darwin. Charles Darwin, also called father of natural selection. We will discuss the complete topic regarding Charles Darwin in coming topics. Okay, na? Charles Darwin and Francis Darwin done a small activity on the plant growing substance. What kind of the growing substance or influence presenting on this? So both of them done a small performing activity. Na? See that they are taken a small coleoptile. For example, this is the plant one. This is the shoot region. Okay. On the shoot region, they kept a small metallic foil. A small metallic cap is kept on the tip region. This plant already presenting in the sunlight itself now. But whereas the Charles Darwin and Francis Darwin doesn't observe any kind of growth, especially in the tip region, especially in the shoot region. because a kind of an influence is presenting in this one that cannot able to directly contact with the sunlight. The direct physical contact is not occurred. That physical contact is interrupted. That's why when the metallic foil is kept on the shoot itself now, there is no chance of any growing. So a kind of an influence is present in the tip region, which can also move in the backward direction, which is responsible for getting the some kind of an hormone, which is responsible for growing of the shoot region. Due to the interruption of this particular one by the metallic foil, there is no chance of physical contraction, physical contact. That's why when the metallic foil is removed, this particular shoot can also grow the particular growing. Okay, so that the Charles Darwin and Francis Darwin finally concluded this a growing factor, which is commonly called as an influence. A kind of an influence is present in the tip regions of the shoots, but they don't understand completely and clearly what kind of an influence is presenting in this particular shoot regions. Then a Dutch scientist, okay, F.W. Wendt, a Dutch scientist F.W. Wendt, they concluded the further experiments with using the information from the Charles Darwin and Francis Darwin. He also taken a small coleoptile, means a small germinating seed, that is called coleoptile, early growing seed. Okay, see that very simple experiment here. He taken the small coleoptile. He decapitated the tip of the one. He decapitated tip of the coleoptile. Okay, so the decapitated part of the coleoptile is kept on the another agar block. Okay, a kind of alga structure. A small agar block is taken. On the agar block, the decapitated part is kept over now. Within few hours, the terminal part of the one, this is commonly called decapitated part, having some kind of a hormones that is completely absorbed by the agar block. I understand clearly. So then the agar block, so for this is the agar block. The agar block is taken into several pieces. One part of the agar one is kept on the part of the decapitated one. Where the decapitated region, on the decapitated region, the agar block is separated into small bits. The small part of the agar block is kept on the one. Within few hours, within 1 and 2 hours, okay, this complete agar block is absorbs this one now. So after the few hours, this decapitated region can also, this entire experiment also done in the dark place. There is no chance of sunlight here. Okay, this decapitated region can also kept on the agar block. This part can also shows the gray small movement. I understand. So the cells presenting in this particular region have the ability to grow, have the ability to grow in the small bending region, small bending correction. When this particular complete part is also kept in the sunlight, okay, the cells also can automatically activate it. This particular cells can also grow in the complete movement towards the direction of the sunlight. The cells can also have the useful to bending region of the stem itself now. So the bending condition is also done by the particular growth factor that is commonly called as auxin. A kind of a growth influence. What the Charles Darwin, Francis Darwin influenced, they discovered, this particular influence is commonly called as an auxin. The F.W. Wendt named this particular growth factor called as an auxin. This auxin deriving from the Greek language. According to Greek language, auxin means to increase. I told you, two kinds of cells presenting in the tip region. Okay, one kind of the cells are useful to growing direct towards the direction of the sunlight, which are having the high ability to increase. Differentiation level is very high. Whereas in the opposite direction, the cells having the ability to bend the stem itself now. Okay, such a kind of bending property is also done by the hormone is commonly called as an auxin. Whereas auxins are also useful to the bending of the stem and also the property of towards the growing of the sunlight itself now. This kind of property is commonly called as phototropism. So number of actions, number of movements are also present here now. Tropic movements and nastic movements. Tropic movements and nastic movements. Here the tropic movements means growing of the plant body parts response to the stimulus which are presenting in the environment. Environmental stimulus can also give the stimulation for the particular plant body parts. which are completely commonly called as the tropic movements. So, for example, sunflower, sunflower moves towards the direction of the sunlight. Such a kind of movement is commonly called as the tropic movement. Okay, so tropic movements means the growing of the plant body parts in response to the stimulus regarding the environmental conditions. That such a one is commonly called as the tropic movements. Whereas the nastic movements means here sometimes, see the statement, sometimes the direction of the stimuli determines the direction of the movement. But sometimes the direction of the movement may not be determined by the direction of the stimulus. Clear once again. Direction of the stimuli, okay, determines the direction of the movement. Sometimes the direction of the movement may not be determined by the direction of the stimulus itself now. Okay, see simple example here now. So for example here this kind of one is completely called as the tropic movements. Such a one, what I said, second time, direction of the stimuli determines the direction of the movement. Such a one is best example for the nastic movements. These are all best examples for the, for example, tigmonasty, tigmonastism. Okay, simply one more example here. Just wait. Phototropism, hydrotropism, geotropism, thermotropism, okay, chemotropism. These are the tropic moments. Okay, so phototropism, movement of the plant body parts towards the direction of the sunlight, towards the direction of the sunlight. These are all commonly called as the phototropic movements, phototropism. Okay, so regarding this, all the shoots of the plant is completely growing towards the direction of the sunlight, mostly. Okay, so when the plant body parts growing towards the direction of the water, for example, some of the plants which may grows in the rocks, in between the rocks. So in the rocks there is no chance of water material. So in search of the water material, okay, the plant parts of the one can also grow towards the direction of the water molecules. Okay, such a kind of movement is commonly called as hydrotropism. Mostly all the roots of the plants growing towards the direction of the gravity in opposite direction of the phototropism. Okay, towards the direction of the gravity, all the roots showing the particular movement. This is commonly called as geotropism. Okay, sometimes some of the plants also shown the response to temperature. These are commonly called as thermotropism. So this is, for example, chemotropism. Here, regarding this chemotropism, do you know the insects are also involved in the process of pollination? When we can taste the stigmas of the some kinds of flowers, we can feel this substance is something sugary material, sugary substances. Okay, see that this is the stigma region. So this is simply called as the pollen grains, anthers, which are present in the pollen grains here now. So mostly the insects can also attract to the flowers by having the sugary material. That is commonly called as the nectar. So when the pollen grain settles on the part of the stigma can receive the pollen grains towards the direction of the ovary. Okay, this kind of movements, a kind of a chemical is present on the part of the stigma itself now. These chemicals can also give the chance to move the pollen grains towards the direction of the ovary. Such a kind of movement which having the chemical is commonly called as the chemotropism. Okay, last but not least is called thigmotropism. Do you know what's called thigmotropism? Just now I told you some of the plants which are called as creepers. Creepers have small twinkling like structures. These are commonly called as the tendrils. Okay, the tips of the tip part of the tendrils have the cells have high ability to do grow fast. When these parts or touches any rocks or any soil or any stick materials or any kind of the one, basically these plants stems are weak and very thin. That's why they would like to climb the trees. They would like to climb the other branches of the one. That's why these parts are highly sensitive to touch. Okay, such a kind of movement of the one plant is commonly called as thigmotropic movements or thigmotropism. Thigmotropic movements. Okay, so whatever it may be, the high concentration of the auxins can also increase the stem levels, and the high concentration of the auxins can also decrease or inhibit the growth levels. Okay, root initiation or root development is completely controlled by the high production of auxins. Where the high concentration of auxins can also increase the shoot development itself now. Okay, so whatever it may be, the auxin concentration can also show the clear influence by the growing of the shoots and also the roots. Okay, so these are commonly the plant hormones, major plant hormones, basically auxins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, gibberellins, and last one is called as ethylene. Okay, a particular plant growing factor is present in the one that is commonly called as an auxin. This one is called as an influence, particular influence. First of all, determined by the Charles Darwin and Francis Darwin, and this activity is done by F.W. Went by taking a small coleoptiles. He also named this particular growing factor is called as a auxin. According to Greek language, auxin means to increase or to promote to growing factors now. Clear? Okay, these are all commonly called as a kind of a tropic moments. Different kinds of examples may also we can understand clearly now. Okay, thigmotropism plays an important role for the movement of the plant bodies. Okay, so for example, touch me not plant. Also best example of the thigmotropism. Okay, nastic movements growing towards the direction of the sunlight. That is commonly called as a kind of a nastic movements clearly now. Okay, okay. The next topic we will discuss on the coming topics. Okay, thank you.